What happens if you put every single player in your tactic on attack? Well, today we're going to find out, but first, if you do enjoy the videos on this channel, please do leave a like, drop a little subscription, and hit that notification bell. But let's get into the tactic breakdown, and let's describe how I made whatever this is. So obviously, it was a challenge set by you guys, which I'm more than happy to do, as always. And I'll quickly say, if you do want to download all 3 of the wonderful files I've got on display today, also get early video and tactic release, priority in your tactic and video requests, one-on-one tactical help, and enrolled into the exclusive Patreon giveaway every single month. That is right, every single month. You can do so by joining the Patreon in the description, and also, if I remember, I'll put a little pop-up on the screen, but definitely check it out. There's really cool perks, over around 7, so definitely worth checking out. But let's go ahead and instantly, I know this will annoy you guys, so we'll switch this, just because, you know, I'm not scumming you guys to stay here. So here we go. We're going to start things off by going over to the sweeper keeper. So the inspiration behind this, obviously, every player has to be on attack. Now, that's a lot easier said than done, I will say that, because essentially, it is a challenge tactic, and it is very surprising how well this done. And obviously, I'm going to say this right now, I only tested with really good teams because it is a challenge tactic. There's no way you're going to play with Luton like this, or there's no way you're going to play with Everton. Someone like that, it's not going to happen. Some of these tactics only work with the big boys, and to be honest, we're right at the end of the game where it is a ton of fun to try these different things out. So a sweeper keeper is going to come in on attack, a wingback on the right is going to come in on attack on cross-aim centre and also stay wider. A ball-playing defender comes in simply on defend, and next to him is also going to be on defend. Now I know I'm going to see the occasional comment saying, Josh, you could have played a libero, at least it would have been on supportive. We could have done, and we did do it in the third variant, but on this default one, we went for a 4-2-3-1 because it's the most balanced sort of system out there, and despite everyone being on attack, we've still got a little bit of structure in this team. The wingback on the left is going to be another wingback on attack on cross-aim centre, and also stay wider. To be honest, the backline was actually quite easy to make. Quite often you have wingbacks on attack anyway, or at least quite aggressive, so this back line isn't actually too bad. It still can defend to quite a decent standard, to be honest with you. But going over to the midfield, this is where I knew it was going to get challenging, because I definitely wanted the central midfield player, which we've got, on attack, on pass it shorter, roam from position, move into channels, and also tackle harder. But I didn't want to have another central midfield player on attack, because I thought it would be a little bit boring. That's simple as that, really. So I thought, what can I have that's a little bit more advanced, but not too overkill? And that's going to be the Metzala coming in on attack, simply on pass it shorter. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a very attacker midfield, but to be fair, there were highlights, which we are going to see throughout this video, where we weren't too attacking in terms of the counter-attacks. We were actually somewhat defensively solid, which is very surprising, but it just goes to show how important those team instructions are, because we were a little bit more tame on the team instructions, just so we didn't overcommit too many players. On the left-hand side, we're going to have an inside forward on attack, simply on roam from position, and on the right-hand side, we have got exactly the same. In the middle, we're going to opt for a shadow striker, who is going to be on pass at shorter and roam from position, and playing like this, guys, we scored an abundance of goals. For this PSG team, we're actually looking at 4.68 goals a game, with over 29 shots. Now, that is going to sound outrageous, but if you imagine you've got every single player on attack, apart from 2 ball-playing defenders, you are going to see utter scenes. Every player is going to get forward and get involved, and that is what results these stats. Now, obviously, the conceded per game, we are PSG, so 0.53. If you were to use this with a, you know, a bit of a mid-table team, or like even sort of a Chelsea sort of vibe, or a Spurs, you are easily going to concede a goal a game. But with them teams, you could probably easily score over 3.5. So you definitely could outscore teams with it. Pass completion, we're looking at 86.24. So realistically, every single attacking element of the game was really, really good, and that's exactly what I want to be seeing. Finish it off, we're going to have the advanced forward on shoot more often. So again, it's basically a formation which isn't set up to feed one player individually, so that is why, for example, we're not got these players on support or anything, because we can't do that anyway. But everyone in this team is capable of having a crack at goal. The shadow striker scores goals, the inside forward obviously scores goals as well. Most of the goals obviously is going to come from this advanced forward, but just the attacking options is absolutely mental. So going over to those team instructions, obviously it is going to be based off a pressing style. On attacking, you probably guessed that already. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to have pass into space on. This really helps just passing the ball into space. Obviously, you've got so many players that are going to be making runs. Having this selected is very good because somebody is going to run into a good area of space, and having a pass played there is literally perfect. We're going to overlap left, we're going to overlap right, and also we're going to play out from the back and cause all sorts of issues in this team, because this way the fullbacks are going to get really, really involved, and this is where you see the likes of Guardiol, who was playing left back in that game, really get further forwards and almost play like a winger. It's so dangerous and so attacking. In terms of the passing, we're going to go to much shorter and also higher. Now, the reason why I've gone with much shorter is because everybody is attacking, it can be a little bit crazy, you know, everyone's running about. So having it on shorter just maintains a little bit of composure in the team, and it doesn't go off the rails, pretty much, to put it in simple terms. Dribbling, we're going to run at defence and also be more expressive because, again, this is one of the most attacking tactics I've ever made, so why not? Let's have a little bit of fun. And this is going to give you guys a very, very set attacking in possession team instructions. We're going to take this game for an example, obviously against Nottingham Forest, which they did score a goal, to be fair to them, but we scored the 8, and you can really see here, we're going to understand how many people actually commit forward. You can see in the thumbnail alone, but you can see from this point, this is Guardiol, by the way, how many players are actually getting forward. Practically every player is going to make a forward run, apart from these two centre-backs, which by the time this ball ends up in this area here, them centre-backs are going to be in this area, so I mean, they also are very attacking. You can see them running now, but this image alone is quite a scary one. We're going to be seeing Walker absolutely bombing up the field here. Obviously, Haaland's got to score because it's what Haaland does, but you can see the sheer amount of players that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Pretty much every single player is getting forward, and Erling Haaland is going to finish it off, as to be expected with him. But just showing you guys simply the attacking element this tactic does have. And you know what? When I got recommended it, I was like, is this going to be possible with a mid-table to underdog team? Probably not, but I always try and fulfill your requests, and you know what? This tactic was probably the most fun I've had making in quite some time. Very rarely do you get the chance to make a video on having every single player on attack, so it was quite fun, and you'll see in here the different ways we're going to create. Guardiol basically playing as a left mid there in some elements of the game, and at no point in the game was it looking threatening. Obviously, they do get a goal at some point during this game, but when you're scoring the likes of 8, this is going to be the goal here, I believe. We lose possession here, and Dominguez goes through, and if he would have got closed down, I don't think the goal would have went in, but it was quite a decent finish. But obviously, when you're scoring 8, it's not going to be a concern, as Gomez now gets a little bit of luck there. Haaland gets a tap in, your classic striker's goal. But no, playing this way, guys, like I said, there are different ways you can play this way. Obviously, you could play a narrow variant, which I have got in my second one, which obviously you can check out via that Patreon. And that was a little bit more possession-based, but you can see here the utter dominance we had against this Forest team. I mean, yeah, absolute brutality. When it comes to in transition, we are going to have quite a few things selected on this occasion. We're going to have counter press, we're going to have counter, obviously, we're going to distribute quickly, and also, as you know I'm a big fan of, we're going to distribute to anybody at the back while taking short goal kicks. So it is sensible. We are going to play to the back line. Obviously, we are a team that are going to play out from the back, so it makes complete sense to do so. But obviously, when we've lost the ball, we are going to press. When we've won the ball, we're going to counter. And you can see everybody is going to counter apart from those two centre-backs. So that is going to be some sight when that happens. But going over to the outer possession, you're going to have the standard line because the higher line isn't the best in terms of the 4-2-3-1 with this system. That is just straightforward. The trigger press is going to be set to much more often. Of course, we're going to have some pressure on the goalkeeper, and of course, we're going to get stuck in. It's an aggressive system. But do you know what, guys? I was very surprised with how this actually plays, how consistent it was in terms of the results. Obviously, we are going to go over exactly what we won. But here's a little look at the league stats. You can see the league stats here. Obviously, we know we're going to have decent points per game at 2.76. Most goals at 159, which is absolutely incredible. I mean, practically double a Monaco's. Just under 1,000 shots for in a season, which is incredible. Fewer shots against at 269, and the most clean sheets and fewest conceded. Now, that is the only case with PSG. The other teams, we weren't that defensively solid, as you can probably imagine. But what I'm going to do now is, and because it's been requested a lot, I'm going to show you all the results I got, because I haven't been showing them because some people find it boring. I've kept it to the end of the video, so those that do want to see, you can see right now. Let's go over the results. So first up is going to be PSG, obviously over in the French League. League, where we won the French League with 94 points, a 20-point advantage over second place Monaco. We scored 159 league goals, conceded just 18, and didn't even pick up one red card, despite being the worst for yellow cards. Very, very interested there. We won the Champions League with PSG against Manchester City, but that's not strictly accurate, because obviously we did also play as Manchester City, so we were going to win the Champions League with one of the teams. That's just reality, and I will be honest with you guys about that. Obviously, we won the French League, we won the Coupe de France against Lille, and also the Trophy de Champion against Toulouse, so a quadruple winning season. Next is going to be with Manchester City, another quadruple winning season, as we win the Premier League with not as much of a point advantage, but still quite comfortable over Liverpool in second place. We also scored 171 league goals, conceded 42, ranking us the third best, which, to be honest, isn't even that bad in my opinion, considering, well, yeah, considering how attacking the system was. Again, we're the worst for yellow cards. That get stuck in can have this effect, I will warn you. So if you are picking up way too many bookings, please take it off, because that is going to be definitely the thing that is going to be picking up those bookings. However, though, it's still a very good season, as we were runners-up in the Champions League, we won the Super Cup against Sevilla, the Premier League, the FA Cup, and also the Community Shield. So again, a quadruple winning season. Next on a trip to Germany, as we play with Bayern Munich, and we absolutely stormed this league. We really, really did. Dortmund had a stinker of a season. No idea what happened with them. Leipzig, second place. We do like to see that. We absolutely thumped them in terms of the result. 143 league goals, only 20 conceded, or 26 conceded, 0 red cards, but again, 90 yellow cards. So you are going to pick up the odd booking here and there. In terms of the team competitions, it's going to be a treble winning season, as we lift the Bundesliga, the DFB Pokal against FC Köln, and also the Super Cup against RB Leipzig. And lastly, and to finish it off, it is going to be Real Madrid, where I'd say we dominated the Spanish division with 105 points, compared to Barcelona and Atletico Madrid coming in with 79. In terms of the team stats, 171 goals scored in the league, 34 conceded, so again, we were the best in that category as well, but that's probably because we had tons of the ball, to be honest with you. We actually were the leading possession team in the Spanish league, so we do love to see that. In terms of the bookings, it is a little bit outrageous again, but as you guys can understand, when I make an attack and tactic, I want every element to be aggressive. The tackling, the pressing, and the counter-attack, so that is why you are going to get a few bookings, but that gets stuck in. Honestly, remove it if it's needed. And the team competitions, the Spanish League, the Copa del Rey against Real Sociedad, and the Super Copa against Barcelona, making it a treble winning season, so that is 2 trebles and 2 quadruples. Not too bad if I don't say so myself, but if you guys have enjoyed today's video and you like these sort of challenge tactics, be sure to keep commenting on what you want to see next. Pretty much every suggestion is now going to be done on FM24, because it's coming to an end, FM23, unfortunately. But if you guys have enjoyed today's video, smash the like button, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.